I never thought I'd understand the terrorists this much. Wait, hold on, that ain't sound right. Well, hold up. Hey, how did y'all get here this fast? My nigga, cool out. I'm not resisting. You know, it's gonna take a few of y'all to get me back up. I'm a pretty big nigga, folk. So, I found terror in resonance on a random TikTok post that was full of sad anime. And I haven't watched anything that made me depressed as hell in a minute. So I was just like, fuck it, let's check it out. If I had to describe terror and resonance in one word, I wouldn't be able to. But to keep it in main, this show has a lot of good qualities. But one of the main words that I would choose would definitely be unique. I have never watched anything like this, and bro, I loved it. Terror and Resonance offers a pretty deep and interesting story from a perspective that I haven't seen in any anime. This story is an experience from the perspective of a terrorist, and it's a pretty unexpected spin on their methods and story. I'm really excited to talk about this one, so pull up a chair and let's chop it up. But before we get into it, as always, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button for more anime analysis and review videos just like this one. So, you know how we do things around here. First, we start off with the story. The story in Terror and Resonance really hit every beat that I wanted it to. It does the heavily delusional approach by basically giving us everything at the beginning, but in a kind of vague way, so they use the rest of the story to clear up things and expose details and make connections. I really love this approach because it encourages theorizing, and when you get certain details, it kind of makes you want to start putting those puzzle pieces anywhere they can fit. Our story follows two terrorists who aren't named, but they go by 9 and 12. 9 and 12 are terrorists, obviously, but they aren't the blow shit up with no regard for human life type. You can tell early on that they're doing this for a bigger reason and they have a mission. But you can tell that they aren't evil people pretty early, because if you notice throughout their attacks, they don't kill anyone. In the very beginning, they stole this atomic bomb prototype to help them get towards this big end goal. And the whole basis of the story is just them trying to work towards and carry out that end goal and get to that end goal and carry out their plan. I really appreciate the story structure and how they set the show up. There's a terrorist perspective, which is 9 and 12 and Lisa. Then there's the police perspective with Shibazaki. And then you got 5's perspective because she was doing whatever the fuck she wanted over there. We got to see a good amount of all their sides too. And it was cool to see the conflict within the three. And it was cool to see unlikely partnerships get formed and get created from the three too. Let's talk about these damn plot twists because, man, it's a decent amount of them. And they were great. They were all great. Finding out 9 and 12's origin and the whole thing about the Athena project was actually pretty sad, I'm not gonna lie. But the way it connected the dots was perfect. Finding out that they were all test subjects in this effort to create military personnel was pretty shocking. I didn't expect that they were the ones that burned down the building and escaped too. I didn't expect that. I think that was gonna happen like that. It was kind of disgusting how nonchalant that nigga was when he was telling Shibazaki about all this too. Like, it didn't sound like he had any kind of regrets or felt any remorse to any of the dead kids that he's responsible for. I knew that there was a reason they were doing this, and that's what I was looking for the whole time when I was watching this. And it really was revealed at the perfect time and brought everything together when it needed to. Also, finding out that Shibazaki was right and he was demoted for being right was wild as hell too. I know he was pissed. I'm not gonna lie, 5 killing herself was a huge surprise, gang. I'm not gonna lie. When I watched this, I was like, yo, was she shot like the gas? I was like, yo, what? And I was like, wait a minute. I think it makes sense though that she didn't kill 9. She talked about how she was never able to surpass him. So I can only assume and put 2 and 2 together and say that her obsession with games came from him. Him and her were playing games at the settlement and he was winning all the time. And even outside of the games, I think they were friends too. It's messed up because you realize that even if she didn't like kill herself, she still wasn't gonna live that much longer anyway. The anime didn't really emphasize this detail that much. All the testing from the Athena project was destroying all of them from the inside, damn near the entire time. That's why you see them like fall out or have this crazy like ear ringing. It's like same goes for 12 too. If he didn't get shot, he probably didn't have that much time left either. That's how 9 ended up dying at the end. And speaking at the end, the last episode really put a bow on this shit, dog. It's scary how accurate the depiction of the US is in this anime. Find out that 9 and 12 were planning on getting caught anyway, and they tested Shibazaki to make sure that he was smart enough to catch them was a fire-ass idea, and it was fire in practice, and they did a really good job in execution. And in true United States fashion, them niggas came in on some absolute bullshit. They were planning on killing 9 and 12 to cover their tracks and wipe their hands clean for the airport and train incident, so nobody knew that they were involved in it. It's scary accurate because I definitely wouldn't put it past our country to do some shit like this in real life. It was definitely a downer ending for sure, with 12 getting killed and the side effects of the testing catching up to 9 and him dying. But at least we got to see them achieve their goals and expose all this nasty shit the government was doing behind the scenes. So it still ended up ending on a positive note. This story was really phenomenal. I really love the approach they took to it. It was already structured in a favorable way that I'm familiar with, but doing that while telling it from a perspective that I've never seen before, You niggas are begging me to fall in love with this show. Great job. Now let's move on to characters and character interactions. The characters were done really well in this anime. There are a lot of notable characters, but the ones they gave us were really good. So let's run through a few of them. Nine is really cool. He's a more serious one of the duo. He seems like he's really cold-hearted. He's really like considerate under all that. And he don't want anybody getting involved with him at 12 because they're bound to get hurt. That's why he didn't want Lisa around. He didn't think she was a nuisance. He just knew that she was innocent, and he knew that their plan involved them going away forever. So he didn't want himself to get too attached to her, or he didn't want her to get too attached to him. You can see in the last episode that he actually enjoys her company. He even let her listen to the music that they hinted out early on, which is another cool little detail, by the way. I really love that. Another part of him probably didn't want to be too weak again and lose someone else he cared about, since he thought that 5 died right in front of him when they escaped. That's why he didn't trip when 12 snitched. Hey, I just realized that's funny as hell. They really made the nigga named 12 snitch. I see y'all, gang. I see what y'all did there. But I digress. That's why he didn't trip when 12 chose to save Lisa's life. I think that he actually ended up happy that he did. Of course, in that moment, he didn't realize it because he had to, turn himself in. But at the end of it, I think he realized that him and 12 finally saved someone, which is fire. 9 is an amazing character. 12 was cool too. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't vibing with him when he ratted out 9 and didn't want to face him. But considering his name now is just his nature, all right, I'll stop. But 12 is really cool. He's the more fun and energetic one of the duo. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and it definitely works against him. But he's just a super genuine nigga that cares about Lisa. Like I said with 9, he probably had those same feelings, but he just showed them more than 9. I think he mainly suggested stopping because she was involved, and since they connected with her, he didn't want her to get hurt. He was still loyal to the cause to the very end, and I still respect him for that. Speaking of Lisa, I'm glad her useless ass ended up surviving. Nah, I'm just playing. But nah, she's solid. I think she's got a pretty unique story. You really gotta think about how ass your life gotta be to just go willingly just shake up with some terrorists. She had to go through some real rough shit. She's extremely strong for surviving it. She left her old life because she didn't feel wanted. And she found a place where she felt wanted with 9 and 12, even though 9 wasn't very vocal about it. She also gives the show a grounded feeling too. Like during that downtime, she be trying to cook for them and shit. It's ass, but it's just it adds a little comedy to it, like a slice of life feel. It's kind of cool. It was cool to have an innocent figure in this whole ordeal. She's a really cool character, and I really like what they did with her. She had a really unique perspective in this show. 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 was really cool. I've seen this archetype a few times, and he fits that role perfectly well. The whole go-to detective, but niggas had to hang it up because this one case made him look like he was insane spill, really worked for him. He definitely the coolest policeman I've seen in anime so far, unlike some niggas. I honestly think if the circumstances allowed it, he wouldn't have tried to arrest 9 and 12 because he knew everything they went through, and I think he genuinely felt bad for them after that conversation. 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 was a really cool character. 5 was really insane with her fine ass. Her story was really compelling though, and she made for a really good main antagonist figure. I really like 5 characters too. We really got some good ass characters in this show. Shout out to all the voice actors that worked on this. Amazing performances across the board. Now let's move on to looks, presentation, and music. I didn't know that Mappa did this show, but it does make sense because this show looks really good. That explains why all those action sequences look like they were made with love. It's because they were. Great job yet again, Mappa. The music in this show was surprisingly solid. This is the first anime that I've seen just have full out songs in it instead of like background music. And it's not just during like important moments either. They're just like scattered everywhere throughout the show. And I really appreciate the switch up. The intro song was really good too. Overall, they did a great job with the music too. Shout out to both the animation team and the sound and music team. Y'all did a really good job on this one. Overall, I think Terror Resonance offers an absurd amount of story content in a mere 12 episodes. 11 episodes actually. Terror Resonance was one hell of an experience. It hit the ground running from the first episode and it never stopped. You would think that I would feel unfulfilled from it ending in only 11 episodes, but honestly, I don't feel that at all. This show was perfect to me. That being said, I think everyone should watch this. This is definitely amongst the top when it comes to short anime, and it's well worth the 4-hour or so binge. It's a really good and memorable experience. I can guarantee that you haven't seen anything like this, so go check it out. But that's all for me, man. As always, gang, have a great day. Love y'all. Peace.